Hi everyone. Fiona and I thought we'd share a few thoughts on the Curriculum and Assessment Review Interim Report, which was published on the 18th of March. We think it's really important to keep the conversation going and make sure our subject is high on the panel's agenda. We're going to chat through some headlines, some opportunities, some challenges, and actions that we think particularly relate to RE and religion and worldviews education. So, Fiona, what do you think are the key headlines for RE in the report?
So for me, high standards for all was the big overarching theme of the interim report. Um, and that plays into the equity and social justice issues that we've raised in our submission in relation to RE. And that must surely be explored further by the panel. More specifically, they refer to the lack of national content standards. If you look at page 29, to quote from that, despite the fact that RE is compulsory for all pupils up to the age of 18, unless they're withdrawn, evidence suggests that a lack of national agreed content standards has led to national disparities in the quality of provision, which, as we know, is something we have been really clear about for a long time. In addition, they bring out issues with the EBAC. We have been talking about this for many years as well in relation to RE. So it was really good to see this performance measure being reviewed. So they were my highlights. What about you, Kathryn? What else in the report do you think provides perhaps an opportunity for RE?
Yeah, well, I think the importance of the humanities generally is highlighted, and actually, particularly in relation to AI. RE has obviously got a crucial role to play in terms of critical reasoning, creative thinking, problem solving, as well as considering those ethical, ontological, and social justice questions in relation to AI. In addition, I think there's reference to kind of meaningful representations and pupils being able to see themselves in the curriculum. Again, I think a religion and worldviews approach to RE really advocates and exemplifies this. And I suppose lastly, there is much attention paid to children and young people being prepared for future life and work. So things like developing pupils' understanding of freedom of religion or belief, interfaith and belief understanding and dialogue, and also how our subject contributes to positive community relations. I think all of those are really worth highlighting for us. And of course, a hermeneutical approach to the subject also supports pupils in becoming discerning adults, which is obviously really important in a sort of age to navigate misinformation and fake news, I think. So I suppose we've kind of highlighted lots of opportunities we see in the report, but also clearly there are some challenges for RE. What do you think some of those might be for the panel, particularly in the next phase of the sort of consultation and evidence gathering?
So the report talks in a kind of general sense about balancing risk and benefits of any changes. Keeps talking about evolution, not revolution, doesn't it? In relation to RE, they mention a particular challenge. Again, if I can quote from the report, there's a balance to be struck between securing an entitlement to high quality content for all, and particularly in the case of RE, the need for flexibility to be retained for different school types, i.e., schools with a religious designation and those without. Um, so that's obviously a challenge and a challenge that some of us find difficult. But there are other challenges as well for RE in relation to how the key stages might align with progression and sequencing and mastery when there's so much disparity across the country. Um, I'm pleased to see that these are areas where the panel states that they really want to explore further and improve. So it seems to me that RE must be pretty high on their list to delve deeper into in the next stage of their work. And I think we'd agree that whilst that's a challenge, it's something that they absolutely need to grasp.
Mm.
So, although there are challenges, I think there's lots that can be done. Um, but how can we help, Kathryn? Do you think there are things that we can do to help the panel, which we're not on, navigate some of these challenges as a community, as a religion and worldviews community?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm, as you know, Fiona, some of us, you and me included, have been doing a lot of thinking about possibilities and solutions, weighing up those risks and those benefits, particularly, I think, in relation to questions about are we going into a new national curriculum or not? And for example, there was a NatRe RE chat, for example, last night, which was on Monday the 31st, as we're recording this today on the 1st of April, where lots of things were being discussed there as well. So, here we've considered various reservations about this. In terms of national curriculum for RE, how do we ensure safeguards are in place for schools, particularly with a I can't say it this morning, with religious designation? How can we ensure the local dimension is retained? So these are all big questions. Yet we also need to balance this with the benefits, such as clear standards, everyone having a common standard if it was to go into a national curriculum, progression and content, and also the end of this postcode lottery for the subject. And I think this has led to developing kind of working practical solutions, possibly using the national content standard as a starting point. And I think it's fair to say a huge amount of creative thinking is happening, probably generally behind the scenes, as it were. And there is a time when it will be right to perhaps offer this to the panel. And I think at the moment, the key thing is to offer solutions. And I do believe there are many. I really do believe that. But I think everyone in the RE community is in agreement that the status quo isn't working. So I'm hoping there's a willingness for everyone to come to the table. And if we can help the panel achieve their aim of high standards for all, for social justice and equity, then I believe we've got to take a humble approach to this to serve the common good, to see that what we're all doing is for the public benefit, both for this generation and the next one as well. So I think this gives me hope.
Yes, and I really like what you say about that idea of humility. This is for the common good.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So you're sounding optimistic. You're optimistic?
Yes, I think I am. Yeah, yeah,
That's good. It's sometimes hard, isn't it? Because
yeah,
we don't have control. So I kind of think, I guess to sum up, we need to continue to engage with the review process.
yeah.
It feels like it's over, but it's not over at all. And there will be, and there are conversations going on. Offer solutions,
Mm.
open up conversations. As you say, there
Yeah.
was that RE chat last night, but there will be conversations in ARIAC meetings and all of those different places and in
Mm.
school staff rooms as well and local sacros. So those conversations and to see possibilities rather than barriers. And I
Mm.
guess we've got to have our best diplomacy skills. And it's about the children.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the millions of children who are in education and will be in education that we need to have at the heart of our decisions.
Yeah, absolutely agree, Fiona. That's exactly, I think, where my hope lies. If we have children, at the heart of everything, then yeah, I think there will be good things to come. Let's hope.